always talk about share your dip, right? When you have that dip and then you walk you walk yourself up out of that dip, that's what's going to inspire people. That's what's going to make people understand that, you know, just maybe I can do it. And wait till you hear this dip. This dip goes down and then comes right back up. And I love it. It's that Rocky story. It's whatever it takes to get it done. And the moment I met Stephanie, and I'm going to introduce you to her in a second, the moment I met you, you could just see that energy, like whatever it takes. And I love that. I'm attracted to that. That's my world, because that's how I look at things. Whatever it takes. And as I always say, I don't make the rules, you don't make the rules. Life makes the rules, and life says you gotta earn it.
That's right.
So if you're not willing to earn it, you don't deserve it. So guys, let me introduce Stephanie Andersson. And Stephanie, thank you for coming on.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Yeah, and you are Tiffany's mom.
Yes, I am.
So we had Tiffany on the other night, and that is the T team. I gotta make sure.
Yes,
T. Look at that. See how I pronounced that right?
Yes.
I caught myself, but that's probably why people were jumping on from the little one. So at the end of the day, I want to share with them, bring them behind that black curtain, because your story is going to be so inspiring to a lot of people, but especially women, because they're going to be able to relate, and they're going to be able to look at it as just maybe I can do it. And I know that you agree, we agree, that your story's not about you.
No,
You were tough enough, you were bad enough to make it through. Now it's your obligation, right, to share that for somebody else.
Yes,
you agree?
I absolutely agree. It's a very big obligation, and it's something that I owe myself, and to pay it forward. Okay. You don't have to stay in any abusive relationship. You don't have to stay down in the gutter, and you have to love yourself enough.
Yeah.
Forgive yourself enough.
And it has to start there.
It has to start there with forgiveness.
Right.
You got to forgive yourself no matter what you've done. We've all done very bad things. Everyone has skeletons in the closet, Dave.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And God knows I have a lot.
Right.
Okay? It's the matter, I did not at any time until recently, actually, that I actually forgave myself enough to come up.
And we're going to talk about that because what I talk, everything that I talk about, the fear barriers and the leadership and all this stuff, it all maps to one thing, and it maps to your self-image. And I believe that you could build your self-image up, you could tear it down, but you cannot outperform it. So, you know, we're going to, let's start from the beginning.
Oh, what, the beginning.
So, where were you born? Where were you raised?
I was born in Norwalk, California, in LA County.
Okay.
And I was raised there, and when in 1976, my parents bought property up in the mountains. Okay. So I was taken from a very, I went to parochial school, St. John of God, Rocks.
Okay.
And taken from this kind of environment, having friends and everything, and growing up in a neighborhood, similar to here, to nothing. To nobody. Nothing.
How old were you?
Let's see, 1970. I was like 9 years old when my parents bought the property, and I ran away at 13.
Okay.
And I got married at 14, legally in the state of California in Norwalk.
That was legal?
It was not legal. I had to see a superior court judge in order to do that. But I was so mentally, I was the oops child. Okay, yeah. My mother, God bless her heart and God rest her soul, and I know anybody speak anything negative on my mother, okay? Because we all have issues. Right. She just hated me. Right. Hated, and let it be known, okay, to me behind closed doors. Very verbal, abusive. I would amount to nothing, become nothing. I was ugly. I would be fat. I would never accomplish anything in my life. And when a child is told that, and that's all they hear, then that's what they become. That's what they become. That's what they become. I always, and I'm so glad that you are able to go there, because this is such a huge lesson. Because I always say that the greatest gift that an adult can give a child is a strong self-image. Right? Is a strong self-image, because that's everything. You need to encourage children. Right? It's because your subconscious
as a little kid is open like a sponge.
Dave, I was broken.
Yeah,
I was
of course.
so broken and so wanted love.
Yeah.
So bad. But I got married at 14.
You literally do anything.
I did. I had my daughter, Tiffany.
Right.
So I was 16 years old.
Right.
Never went on welfare. Nothing like that to have her.
Right.
I worked 3 jobs.
Right.
I went through 4 marriages. I'm a widow now. Almost 5 years. My husband, I still cry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's not.
Need a moment.
No, listen, there's nothing to be sorry about because it's a feeling, right? And that's who we are. We're made up of feelings, and that's what it's about. And see, what I love about your story that I don't even know all of it yet, but I can just tell is that dip, is that struggle. And I always say struggle equals strength. But struggle equals strength.
Well, I got into addiction. I got into cocaine and heroin.
Mm-hmm.
I went to prison twice.
Right.
I lost Tiffany.
Right.
At the age she was 14.
Right.
And the state of California told me when I got out of prison that I would never get my daughter back.
Right.
And I basically told them, I'm going to get her back.
Right. And let me stop you here because this is so emotional that we're gonna leapfrog and then come back. All that you're gonna hear now, here's the deal, right? She had her at 16.
Mm-hmm.
Now they are together, and we're gonna find out how long they got reconnected. But here's the coolest thing: they're so close in age, it's almost like they're sisters.
Yes.
I mean, no, but how cool is that, right? Because it's really, really cool.
I'm 51 and she's 34.
Right? So there's always a good if you wanted to look into it, right? And at 16, I mean, now you have such a relationship with your daughter. So I didn't want to give up the punchline here, but we had to because I want people to understand. Follow this story through because it's where we're at now is absolutely amazing. And I'm telling you this from my feeling when I walked into this house the first time the other night. The energy is just off the chain. So I love it. So you're 16.
Yes.
You have Tiffany.
Have Tiffany married.
Married.
Have Tiffany.
First marriage?
Yes.
First marriage?
Well, she had, forgive me for this. She had a surrogate father.
Okay.
Okay. I know it sounds crazy. People are like, 16, how do you know what you're doing? But I was I just was so mature for my age.
Right. Well, listen, you had to survive.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? So
I was
13,
in total survival mode.
Yeah.
And I did not do any drugs, which is really weird, until I was 24.
Really?
Yeah. Can you believe that?
So you ran away from home at 13.
Yes.
Got married at 14.
Yes.
Had your daughter at 16.
Yes.
You didn't get into... Now, did you drink?
No.
So you had no, toxic...
Nothing. My family was alcoholics. My father and my uncle, but I never... Sorry, I have a hair in my eye.
That's all right. But you didn't... really? Mm-hmm. So 24.
24.
That's interesting.
And what's so weird is being a feral, which is my maiden name.
Right.
I come from a background of addiction. Okay. Whether it be drinking, hard drugs, or whatever. As soon as I did cocaine, I was like, okay, man, let's go for the rock, and then went for the needle, and you know what? It was just on a crack.
Well, it had you by the throat.
Oh yeah, I went directly. I dove right in.
Yeah.
And it was. I know now why I did it. Mm-hmm. And there, number one, there is no escape.
Right.
In alcohol or drugs. There's no escape at all.
Listen, right, exactly.
You have to face it head on.
Say that again.
You have to face it head on.
Because if you don't,
you're nothing. You're gonna crumble, you're gonna crack, you're gonna crash, and you know what? You're gonna die.
Right.
You're not gonna live.
Exactly. You gotta face those fears head on. I always call the fear barrier the ultimate bully in life.
It is.
And how do you stop a bully? You step up. Mm-hmm. And that's the only way you're gonna get your lunch money back from that bully.
Exactly.
And you have to step up.
Or your ding dong.
Well,
ding dongs. What's this ding dong?
But what happens though? They're gonna keep taking your money. Right?
Exactly.
So that's what happens when you have all this fear. Right? And then on top of it, with your you were searching for love, right, and acceptance, and you would do anything to get that.
That's why I had Tiffany.
Yeah, I mean,
I literally, it's so crazy. I literally wanted a daughter. I did not want a boy.
Really?
Did not want a boy. I sat on I don't know. I think it was because I could just be close. Another girl.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. I made a point not to do what how my mom treated me.
Right.
You know, the decisions that I chose as being a parent sometimes weren't always right.
Oh,
okay.
Listen, there's no handbook.
I mean, I always told Tiffany, if you have anything, I never hid anything from her.
Right.
Never.
Right.
I was always very honest, brutally honest with her. And you know what? Would I change it? No.
Right.
I wouldn't change it because I wouldn't be where I am today, and she wouldn't be where she is today, and our connection wouldn't be.
And I love that. That's what people need to hear because they're running from their story.
They are.
They're hiding from their story. And again, it's really the same thing like we were talking about. You're still running.
Yes.
No matter what that is,
you're
running. You're running, and you can't run forever.
No.
You can run, but you can't hide. Is that what it is?
You know what? That's so funny that you say that because you know what? You can go to the North Pole and be the only person there, and guess what, Dave? There you are.
Exactly.
You got to be able to deal with yourself.
Great
there
point.
You are.
Great point. So you can move wherever you want, but you're still there. Right?
Yep.
I love that. So you're going through your marriages. You're in your early 20s in your second marriage. Is
yes.
That, okay.
Yes.
So you're just trying to keep finding that feeling, and you're just not. Are you getting it from Tiffany, or are you getting it from
Tiffany? I wasn't getting it from a man. Until my deceased husband. God bless his heart, Bruce.
Right.
He was my rock.
But okay, was that your third husband?
Fourth.
Okay, that was your fourth husband. I believe,
Fourth and last.
No, but that's all right. But I believe you became that person to attract him.
Yes.
Right? Because obviously he was much. I can guess he was much different than everyone else.
Yes, he was.
But you finally became that person to attract him.
You know, he allowed me and taught me to be me.
Right.
He said he knew me for like 19 years before we even hooked up.
Oh.
So, you know, I knew him way before. Okay. I was previously married to another man. I was previously married to another man when I met him.
Right. Okay.
It was it's a friend of my family's.
Okay.
Okay. He you know what? He just was he had that unconditional love.
Yeah.
You know, that everyone seeks.
Right.
It's like okay. All the people that don't experience true love, I had that. For a short, fleeting moment, I had that. And you know what? My heart goes out to all the women and the men, but mainly the women that the men don't allow them to be able to become themselves. They don't encourage them to blossom and become these beautiful butterflies out of their cocoons.
Right. Because
they're so into the control thing.
Right.
And into their own issues. What if I lose this?
But it's all fear.
It is.
It's all fear-based.
It is fear. And you know what? Don't be afraid. I mean, God knows. Who am I to say don't be afraid?
But here's what I wanted to talk about. That's great. Because the bottom line is, and in my book, I don't know if I talked about this with Tiffany, but fearless is bullshit, right? Because it's a real feeling that we have as humans. It's just how do you manage it? What's your perspective on it? And it really comes from courage. You know, courage is really what you're looking for because fear is going to happen. Right? And so many people beat themselves up over, why am I feeling fear? I should be fearless. And that's so not accurate. That's so wrong.
I'm fearful. I mean, what did I tell you the other night when I met you? I said, you know, I'm scared of doing this interview.
Right.
Because what if all the haters come out and, you know, I live in a non-populated area.
Right.
And I do carry a gun, okay?
Right.
So beware.
You know, but you're scared, but you're excited at the same time.
And you know what? It's my duty, and I owe the women, anybody. If my story can help one person, it's so worth it.
And your story is so powerful, but it's also you're in the majority. You're not in the minority. You are in the majority. There's a lot of women out there that were like me that don't want to talk about it. That's what I'm saying. And
there's nothing to be embarrassed about.
Exactly. That's your story. That's who you are.
This is who I am. I'm raw. I'm real.
But the greatest thing about your story is you made it through to the other side. Yes. See, you're here, so it can be done because you're in living color. You're right here. She's real. Look, she's real. You can make it through no matter what. And I know that there's so many things you had to get through. You know,
it's not easy.
You were in jail twice,
yes,
right? Prison twice, and the things that you went through and the things that, as you know, you attracted right into your life.
Absolutely.
You own it. But you made it through.
Yes.
And it didn't take away who you are.
No,
you still have
that.
Exactly. You still have that.
I remember being in prison saying, I am not going to come out being a bitter, hard woman. Right. I refuse to come out being a bitter, hard woman because of my issues.
Where do you think that came from?
The universe, God. Okay. I mean, absolutely. It came from so deep inside.
Okay.
A fear.
Right.
Because I was in with lifers, murderers.
Yeah, I mean, that's
okay.
Prison.
Susan Atkins was my first roommate. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I was scared.
Of course.
I mean, I was crying for my daddy. Okay.
Of course, but I mean, listen, listen, it's not. It is not pretty. There's nothing.
No, there's nothing pretty about
that.
You know, and although I do not agree with the judicial system on a lot of things.
Sure.
Okay. We can go there another time.
Right.
The fear to overcome this fear, Dave, and to get this into your, I could sit here and whine and cry and say, oh, poor me. Okay? But you know what? I did this to myself, and I overcame it. And I'm overcoming it still.
Of course, but you're just growing like all of us. And here's the thing. You can whine and cry and bitch and moan and point fingers, but the question is, where's that going to get you?
Nowhere.
And absolutely. If anything, back.
Yes.
Right? So when you own it, move forward and just own it, and now that's the only way you're going to be able to grow. Yeah.
You know who I learned this from?
Who?
My beautiful daughter, Tiffany.
And I wanted to talk about that because in Tiffany's show, we learned that in the last just phenomenal. Like the biggest growth she's probably seen in her life. So how has that affected you?
Oh.
Because you guys are so close.
I'm just, I'm going to step out of the picture of being the mother for a moment. Okay.
All right.
She is so amazing and now I get tearful again. I'm such an emotional woman, I can't help it. I think I'm going through the change. And I own that, okay?
I'm a girl. All right.
She, at first, I was like, who is this person?
Right.
Who on earth would want to go public with their story? And it had nothing to do, I didn't find out anything about that she put me in the picture until recently. And I was so cool with it. I was so good with that. I was like, you know what, Tiffany? You're doing a really good thing. You know what came into my mind when she did this?
What?
I'm Tiffany T's mother. I'm a felon and I'm a drug addict, okay? And that going to embarrass her? Is that going to embarrass my daughter?
Right.
That's what came in my mind. I didn't go oh God.
Right.
I can't believe you told our past.
Right.
You know what? Good for you, Tiffany. She is such an empowering, amazing, brutally honest, and brutally real person.
So what kind of changes have you seen in Tiffany over the last year?
Oh my God. Okay. 2 years ago, I expected Kern County Sheriff to come to my door and tell me that my daughter was dead from drinking.
Okay. Just 2 years ago?
Yes. Wow. Not even that, really.
Yeah.
Okay. She was a mess.
Right.
She went through an awful lot.
Sure.
And she has overcome an awful lot. Who she is now is nothing what she was 2 years ago. No, nothing like she was 2 years ago. She's so amazing. I mean, I've literally got to be watching my daughter, who I am so proud of, that is a part of me, go make a complete, is it a 360 turn?
Yes, that's a 360 turn. That's exactly why I am a big believer that personal.
Well, I don't believe in schools, really. I think you should homeschool your child. I homeschooled her.
But the reality is there is school, right? So
yes,
I
there
believe,
is.
okay, even homeschool. Hey, let's put it this way.
Self-development.
I believe that little kids should be taught personal development in school, out of school, from day one. It saved my life 17 years ago. It saved my life. So I know. Look at the power in it when you start to really get it. You know, in a year, what you could do with your life. It's absolutely amazing. So
this last year,
for you
was not a year ago. Well,
right.
over a year ago.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, I'm not. 3 years, it was been, isn't that wrong? Or is this time gone? She just, she turned it around. I don't have words for it.
Well, but it's because
she was slowly killing herself. And to watch your own child.
Right.
Try to kill themselves because they're so miserable.
Right. But that personal development, right?
Personal development is everything.
It really is. And here's the other power of that. And Tiffany's here. You can't see her on camera, but I know she's going to agree. One of the reasons that personal development saves so many people is because when you start to learn it and you start to apply it in your life, you can't help but share it. Like, you literally can't help but share it. This is my oxygen. This is my oxygen.
You have to encourage your children.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like, Dave, you're so absolutely correct that it starts in the home.
Oh,
absolutely. Do you
100%.
ever come across people and go, I mean, honestly, let's be really honest, okay? Who were your parents?
Yeah, I mean,
who raised you?
Not only that, and watch. You know what is amazing to me is, and I know me and Tiffany talked about the raising your vibration, and that people either rise up or they fall away. But when you start to work on yourself and you start to grow, you start to not even connect or recognize people that you grew up with, people that you knew forever, family that you knew forever. You're just so disconnected. Because the first time I ever got introduced to personal development, I was going through marriage counseling. My wife at the time, she goes, we're going to do, and we went to the marriage counseling. She was a very spiritual lady. I mean, unbelievable. And she was talking, and I go, what? The universe? And I look at Michelle, I go, look, I gotta go. I don't belong here. I go, I can't do this. And because it was fear, right? It was fear of the unknown. It was fear of something new. And I didn't know anything about it. I never heard anything about it. And it was just like, and it took me a while. And then all of a sudden I just ran with it because it made so much sense.
When it clicks.
Yes.
It clicks. And you know what clicked for me was my sister Diana. Years ago, introduced me to a book called The Celestine Prophecy. I don't know if you've ever heard about it by James Redfield. You gotta read it.
So what is it?
The Celestine Prophecy. Okay, and it has the insights. And it's based on the law of attraction.
Wow.
The Secret. Okay, Rhonda Byrne's The Secret. Love her. That's how I live my life. Tiffany introduced me to The Secret. My sister introduced me to the Celestine Prophecy. I was a brutal Roman Catholic that denounced my religion. Okay, really. I wrote to the Catholic Church and said, I don't want to be, just take me off your whatever, you know. And one of the priests.
Here's my membership.
Yes. And one of the priests that actually used to go to confession with him, I'm not going to name his name, kind of agrees with me. Okay, but he can't get out of what he's in, so.
He's in too deep.
Right. But the self-development part is so crucial that you need to nurture. You know what? When your child comes to you and says, hey, Dad, I have this really neat idea. What do you think about it? And you look at them and you think they're crazy. Don't do that. Right. If it's not going to hurt them, let them run with it.
And not only that, support them.
Exactly.
Support them because that was my thing. Going through school, I was told I'm not supposed to win. Left back in the second grade, diagnosed with ADD, the whole bit. And looking back now, I just know that I had much more, my EQ trumps my IQ. That's all that was.
Right, not the EQ.
You're right. And thank God for EQ, because in the real world, that's what counts. Thank God for me, because my IQ is way behind. But so now you're moving forward, you're getting in your 30s, and you started the addiction in your early 20s. How long of a window were you?
Till I was 40.
Okay, so you had a big window
Yep.
of that,
Yes.
and you were in and out of trouble, and always,
Yes.
yeah. There was nothing good that came out of it.
I went to prison sober and clean last time. It was for something that I did a long time ago. In 2007, I got arrested and had to do a little 2-year stint. Got out in 2009, and I've been good ever since. I even had I still have a really good rapport with my old parole officers. I'm not on parole or probation or anything, but here's the thing. There's a thing called karma.
Yeah. Karma's a
Karma, and you know what? Yes, it is.
Yes.
And I remember when I was 40 years old, I looked at myself in the bathroom mirror, and I looked at myself and I said, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Your daughter's in the next room. You have an amazing husband. You live in the mountains. You have an amazing life. What are you doing?"
So that was
Forgive
that your aha
yourself.
moment?
That was my aha moment.
Where do you think that came from?
Came from Tiff, really.
Okay.
Yeah, it did. It really came from seeing her struggle and seeing what she was going through. I just had some time to think, and I prayed and I meditated, and it really, really, really. I was starting to learn all about the universe and the law of attraction. Okay, and I really, 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 I vibrated to that level.
Exactly.
And I said, okay, wait a minute. I literally had an out-of-body experience in the bathroom.
Wow.
At 40, yes.
Wow, that moment.
And it's, people look at me like I'm crazy, but it does happen. I totally saw exactly what was going to happen to me in exactly 365 days. I would be in the grave.
Wow.
My daughter would have no mother.
Right.
She would, it was just not a good outlook, okay? Now, here's the question. Do I want to stay on that track? Or do I want to straighten up and vibrate to a higher level and become a better individual and try to go out and help women that have been in domestic violent relationships, that have struggled with violence, with addiction.
Absolutely.
That have been in my situation.
Absolutely.
There is a lot of women out there.
Oh, listen, you're in a majority. You're not in a minority. And if people think that she's in a minority, they just don't get it. That's just the real. So we talked about, with Tiffany, right?
Yes.
We talked about that white picket fence, right? That white picket fence
is a lie.
Well, it's a facade. For the most part, it's a facade.
When
you get back, because everyone has issues, everyone has things they need to conquer and get through, or they run from it, like we talked about. That's why I always talk about fear barriers, because it's really everything. So how did you stop? Did you stop cold turkey? Did you just stop?
Stop cold turkey.
Good.
Cold turkey. It was weird. I grabbed my husband, and he knew exactly what I was doing. He just said.
So you stopped and never went back?
Nope.
Never.
I'm not going to say I haven't been a bad girl or a good girl.
but listen,
I'm not an alcoholic, but I do like to have a cold beer after splitting wood. Okay.
But let's also keep it real.
Exactly.
Bad girl, good girl is your perspective. Failure, success is your perspective. What is your perspective on that? What is your definition? And if you're clear on that, that's all that matters, right? And that's where I think so many people get so caught up in that one fear we talked about, right? Is the fear of what other people think. And if you can look at your life, your journey, you're in the driver's seat. What is my perspective? You might think I failed, but I believe I learned. And if I believe I learned, now I'm going to grow. Now I'm going to move forward. And I don't accept that label. And that's what people have to understand. You can go and say, I don't accept that label. Keep it for yourself. Exactly. Keep that label in your pocket. What do you think?
I 100% agree with you.
Good.
I really do. Like I told you a few days ago, you know what? I'll be nice. If you don't like me, you don't have to. You don't like me? Unfriend me. I don't really care.
Exactly.
Okay? If you don't pay my rent or my mortgage, which I don't have either of, or whatever, or you're not physically with me, if you're not vibrating on my level, you know what? Shame on you.
Yeah, no, just
you don't know what you're missing.
Right.
Really, this is my drug of choice.
Exactly.
That's my addiction now.
That's a great way to put it, because mine too. That's exactly it.
I'm a total foobar.
I love that.
I was totally a fool.
I love it.
You know, and now I'm like this. Okay, I'm 51 years old. I'm rocking the 50s. You know, I lost 100 pounds.
You did?
Yeah.
100 pounds?
100 pounds.
And how long?
For almost, well, like, what, 4 years now?
That is,
3 or 4 years.
that's huge.
I had no choice. I had to, when my husband passed away, I had to learn how to, I mean, not learn, I already knew how to split weight, but I had to, like, take care of everything on my own.
That's,
yeah.
See, and here's the deal is, I think the reason
I taught myself to belly dance to get
that girl. I love it. I love it. Marion, did we have anybody jump on? I think we got a lot of stuff going on here. I see a lot of hearts.
Let's see, Wade Blood good.
Yeah.
Take responsibility and grow forward.
And let me just say, Wade is always there. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you, Wade.
You have to. I don't know if you guys connected with Tiffany or not. You and Wade, Bloodgood.
I tried to find him.
Oh.
But he had to.
Okay, so Wade, when you get a chance, you got to. You have too many followers like I do. We have to unload some of the anchors that you never connect with, but you have to connect with Tiffany and her mom. You guys are going to connect unbelievable. So I just want to throw that out there. Go ahead, Marion.
Okay, Tom Mondigard. No haters here. Dave has a great community. I respect your courage for sitting in that seat and sharing your story live.
Big time. Big time courage.
Thank you.
And here's the deal, and I just did this post today. Look, critics, haters are your biggest fans.
I saw that.
They're your biggest fans. And when you can understand that, they're just in the closet.
It means that, that means that, you know what, you made it.
Well, it means you're making an impact, right? It means, and if they're that focused on you, that means they're your fan. They just don't know it yet, or they don't want to admit it. So bring them on. I love them. Anybody else, Marion?
Yeah, that's what I want to get in. Cody Chris said, Mom, you're an inspiration to me. She made it through the fire and came out strong and brave.
Who is that?
I love you, Cody.
Who is that?
She's like, she's my adopted child.
Okay.
I have a lot of adopted children. A woman that she's also going through a significant loss.
Thank you for jumping on and taking the time. And before we move on, I'd also love to connect you with Tom. He was on, and what Tom does is he actually interviews people for an extended period of time and then puts together a biography.
Oh, I know. I'm all over. That's just part of me being bipolar.
Right.
I have and my ADD. I have a really hard time. It's actually ADHD. I have a really hard time staying focused on one thing. So you have to kind of just grab me like you do and steer me in the right direction, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and listen, I'm like that as well. And when I wrote my book, I didn't write it.
I love your book, by the way.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
It's a must read. And
I didn't write a thing. All I did was audio it, and then my Kelly Fitzgerald took care of everything. Yeah, I told her I'd rather a root canal done than sit down and write. That's just me because I can't do it. I won't do it. So, and when I get books, a lot of times I always try and get the audio book because I listen to it in my truck. Yeah, that's how we're wired.
Mm-hmm.
Marion, anybody else? Look at this. She's bringing the heat, bro.
Brian Ken says, keep up the good work, Dave, and you have to face your fears head on.
That's right, 100%.
And Joey Giggle.
Did they leave a comment?
Let's see. They're commenting back and forth to each other. Great energy, love it. Fear is an illusion. Let's see, let me go back here.
And
Marion, you're doing great.
Vibrational energy. This is on Joey. The law of vibration, light attracts light.
Yes.
And
We have an orb.
karma is the you know what.
Karma's a bitch. But,
Karma is a bitch. But face or fear on.
Right, and you know what? Karma is the barometer. That means you did something to earn that karma, right? So you have to earn it. And Joey Giggles, he's Joey from New York. He has his own radio show. So Monday nights, I'm a guest, and we do Monster Motivation Monday. So around this time, so it's a great show if you guys want to ever jump on. Anybody else, Marion?
Evan Williams. Fear is an illusion, and then it's talking to Joseph and
Okay.
authenticity is the best.
authenticity is the new commodity. That's the bottom line.
I like that. I like
But
that.
it is the truth. With social media, authenticity is the commodity. And what I love about time, it's the greatest equalizer. If you're not real, we're gonna know.
Exactly.
We're just gonna know. Yeah, we're gonna know. So that's right.
You're in the now.
That's right. Any other comments, Mary, before we move on?
Let's see, not any other comments. I got shout outs here for Cindy Lemke,
Cindy, thank you for jumping on.
Angel Flores.
Thank you so much for jumping on and taking the time. And guys, do us a favor and share this feed, share this stream, because there's going to be people that don't know about us that can use this information and could possibly stop them from doing something that they shouldn't do, or they really don't want to do, but they're looking for that. They're just looking and searching for that support. And this story is the majority. Make no mistake. This is the majority, not the minority. And society wants you to think that it's a minority, but at the end of the day, when you get back behind that black curtain, it is the majority. So there's a lot of people that need to hear this. And honestly, what do you think?
I agree. I could not agree more. And I was actually sitting here thinking of, because where I live, I have no internet and I have no phone. And nope. I live completely off grid. Completely off grid.
Wow.
Split my firewood, got a well, the whole 9 yards. Live on solar.
Wow.
Love it. Oh God, yes. I wouldn't live any other way.
Right.
I get men asking me all the time, will you ever move? Nope. Ain't moving. Nope. Not happening. So I don't date.
Yeah. So you live out there by yourself?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I do. And it's a challenge. And, I get bears that come in my house. Okay.
Wow.
And it's so fun though, Dave. I love it. I do.
But see, that's what's great, right?
That
The
mountain is where I was able to go and find myself.
That gives you your energy. That's your zen.
Oh, I have a Zen garden. I just remodeled my room, actually, my house, actually. And I have like a Zen corner. I do. I'll have to show you the picture. Yes, I have a Zen corner, and I love it. And I you know what? I went as far, I'm 51 years old, and I got hopscotch painted on my floor and tic-tac-toe because I'm just that kid, you know what I mean? And I'm an animal advocate. I rescue cats.
I love it.
Rescue dogs.
I love it.
I one time had 24 cats. I'm down to 4. Okay. And I miss my Buzo. Oh, my little Buzo, he's so cute. He's a recent rescue from the Erskine Creek fire that we had. So, but anyways, back to being like the Zen thing, the law of attraction. Well, you need to everybody, okay, you know how our heads don't shut off? Mm-hmm. I know mine doesn't.
Oh, yeah. No.
Okay, I take medication for that.
Right.
Okay, I really do. Otherwise, I won't sleep.
Let me ask you this. How important do you think it is for people to find their zen?
It's so important.
Whatever that is.
It's so important.
The gym is my zen. Motion therapy is my zen. Exactly.
Helping women, helping others.
How important is that for someone to find their zen?
199%.
Right?
So important. Because you can't, in order to be true to yourself, and to be able to be true to others, you got to find that zen. And with that zen comes forgiveness, and comes love, it becomes understanding.
And empowerment.
Knowledge.
And
empowerment of you know what? You are here, put on this earth for a very important reason. There's a reason why you're here.
Right.
It's up to you to find out what that reason is. How powerful is that?
It really is. And what's so sad is so many people don't.
They don't.
They go through this ride and they don't find their purpose. And I always say, if you're not here to leave a legacy, whatever that it is for you, why are you here? What are you doing? If you're not going to leave a legacy, whatever that means for you.
See, I have several legacies.
Okay.
Really?
That's all right.
I really do. I went from the crazy cat lady.
Right.
Okay. To, which is, Tiffany knows it's true, she's laughing. To, now I'm the mountain woman.
Right.
I have recently just retired from being you ever heard of the Pacific Crest Trail? The PCT.
Oh.
I was one of the trail angels for the Pacific Crest Trail.
Okay.
I quit. I quit because I can.
Right.
Because I'm tired of being taken advantage of.
Okay.
Okay. If someone needs help, of course I'm going to help them.
No, right. But it wasn't feeding you.
For the time that it did, it did.
Right. But then something.
Something. My daughter took off with Tiffany T World, becoming Tiffany T. Well, she always has been Tiffany T, but her, what a legacy that's going to be. Wow, Tiffany T's mom. Imagine that. I still can't get that sunk into my head. That's so huge in my life, and because of her, I've found a new purpose. Again, because like I said, I'm all over.
And what's your purpose?
Helping others to find it.
Okay.
You know what? First of all, if anyone needs to get a hold of me, you can send me a friend request through Facebook. That's the best thing I can say. Okay,
Do you get that up in the mountain?
No, I do come to town once every week.
Oh, you do?
Yes, so I do check my messages.
Okay.
Or get a hold of me through Tiffany or maybe through you.
Okay.
If someone's really struggling that needs my immediate assistant, Tiffany can always get a hold of me. She can call Forestry or something. And yes.
Yeah, but that's what it's about. That's how powerful personal development is.
I want to help.
There's an obligation.
I want to help. My energy, I want to help others. I need to help others. I feel the need that there's so many people out there that are struggling, Dave, with this, that need help. They don't know how to take that first step.
Right.
And it's a baby step.
Right.
God, start off as a baby step. Please just don't go full into it, because if someone goes full into it, it can really detrimentally, psychologically screw them up.
And move them back.
Exactly.
But when we're talking about, and I'm glad you said this, the small step. And when you take that small step, and you look back, you're like, why was I so afraid, right? And then when you take that next step, you look back, and I don't think I shared this with you guys, but I wrote an ebook a while back in 2012. It's called The Monster Under the Bed.
I don't think I've heard that. I'll have to look that up when I'm done.
You're 10 years old.
The monster under the bed.
You're in your room. The lights are out. It's pitch dark. And you're under the covers, and you hear this sound. And you know for sure it's a big green hairy monster.
It's a big boo.
Right? It's ready to come out and eat you.
Yeah.
Right? We've all been there, right? Until an adult comes in, turns on the lights, you look under the bed, and what is it? There's no monster. And see, it's the exact same thing that happens when we become adults. Right? We go into this darkness, we go into this unknown, we're outside of our comfort zone, and we see this, we think this big green hairy monster is waiting for us. But once we break through, what happens? The lights are turned on, and there's no monster.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Or you don't break through, and you stay back in safety, and you're in that darkness.
I did that for a long time.
We all have, right? And that monster keeps you at bay. But when you can turn those lights on and see that there's no monster, that's what gets you to that next level. And you gotta surround yourself with those people that are gonna pull you through those fear barriers when needed. And if you don't have them, you gotta lean on your why. See, a big why for you is Tiffany, right? She pulls you through
every time.
Or the animals, right?
Yeah.
Because that's your purpose, of course, because it means it's so deep to you. So they pull you through. Whatever your why is going to pull you through, but you have to identify that why to get through.
You do. You really, it's so important. Your why, why not?
Yeah, exactly. And why not me?
Exactly.
Why not me?
Why can't I have that?
Right. And here's when we can sum up your story, and here's what I love about your story, because I talk about this all the time. For a long time, you gave up the driver's seat in your journey, in your ride, right?
Yes.
So now you took back the driver's seat. And I always say never, ever give up the driver's seat in your ride. This is your ride. You always should be in the driver's seat. So you're empowering women to get back in that driver's seat. They're not supposed to be the passenger in their own journey. What do you think?
Absolutely right. You know what? You need to love yourself first before you can love your child, before you can love your significant other.
That's huge.
It is huge.
I love that. I need you to repeat that. That's the aha moment tonight. Please repeat that and here's why I want her to repeat this, because she lived it. This is real. This is not theory. This is not a book. This is not a classroom. This is real shit right here. And I love it. Go ahead.
You have to love yourself first, period. You can't, how can you love something else when you do not love yourself? Because that right there is being a phony person.
And it's also, let's tie this into fear. I'll tell you why.
Yes.
Okay, and I'll tell you why. Because we have people here, our Monster Moderator, Marion, and we know her story about the domestic abuse, your domestic abuse. Mm-hmm. Now that comes from, right?
That comes from fear.
But it also comes from they don't love themselves or feel strong enough about themselves to live the right life, right? And that's the bottom line, and it comes from fear.
Yes.
For whatever that is, whatever happened in their life, doesn't matter. But that's the reality. So the other thing that I want to share with you, and I want your take on this, is you were talking about your mom, right? You talked about
I love my mother, by the way.
I know, but this is a great thing here, right? Your domestic abuse and all this, right? Your life. At the end of the day, if you can wrap your brain around this, it will give you a freedom that you never thought was possible. Here's the bottom line. Your mom, your husbands, anybody else that you thought was bad in a bad way to you could only live their life at their own level of awareness. Mm-hmm. That doesn't take them off the hook. That doesn't make it right. But what that does is now takes you off the hook and lets you get back in that driver's seat with a clear conscience and move on and an understanding. See, a lot of people don't have, why didn't she love me? Or why did she treat me like this? Or why did he abuse me? Because they can only work at their own level of awareness.
That's all they know.
Right, and the same with you, right? And me. So when you were going through that drug time, right? Mm-hmm. That was you only had a certain level of awareness. Mm-hmm. Then you got to another point and you said, okay, enough of this, because your level of awareness raised, and now you not going to let go of that. That's just part of your life. But when you look back in your past, and if it keeps pulling you back, understand that whoever they are, I don't care, teachers, parents, grandparents, coaches, all can, siblings can only work to their own level of awareness. And I have to remind myself that right now, I have to remind myself that they can only work on their own level, at their own level of awareness, because it's very personal.
I don't think it's more, you know what, and I could not agree more with you on the sibling thing.
Yeah.
I have a distant relationship with a sister, and for years, I wondered why.
Right.
It's not about me. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter what the why for that individual does not matter. Okay? It's how am I going to deal with this situation that's at hand right now at the moment in the present?
What is your perspective on it? Exactly.
I can either embrace this with love and understanding and unconditional try to be understanding.
Right.
Okay, right. Realistically, because I can identify with that. Or I can just kind of go, I hate you and blah, 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 blah. And you're nothing but blah, blah, blah.
And then where does that put you?
That takes so much energy.
And that puts you in a toxic world.
It puts you in a very toxic, very toxic state.
What happens is
your vibrational level goes boom.
And you're doing this here, and she has no idea anyway. She's still living her life. She's still living her life. So you're in that toxic world.
I love her. Don't get me wrong.
It has nothing to do with that.
I mean, now it's great. Okay. Right. But for years, I held on to that.
Yeah.
I was the person that used to think, oh, what do they think about me? Oh, I had to be the cookie cut.
Yeah,
that cutter wife.
Well, you had to be that white picket fence.
Exactly.
You had to live that, and it's such a facade, and it's not real.
It stole my energy. I allowed it to steal my energy.
It smothers you.
And you know what? I look back and I go, oh gosh, what was I thinking?
But you just didn't have that level of awareness,
exactly.
Right? That's the bottom line. So
you have to be self growth and
self awareness.
Just you have to love yourself first. You can't, it's impossible. You can't theory. You cannot love anything else until you love yourself first. Put the mask down off of your child and put it on your face.
Yeah.
Because if you, without you, first.
And I love it. You said take the oxygen mask, put it on yourself first, because then now you can put the oxygen mask on everyone else. And then we're going to flip this, right? Because we talk about people that run from their story. And this was shared to me by Barbara Ham. I had her on the show too, and I love this. So put the oxygen mask on yourself so you can help everyone else. But when it relates to your story and you're running from your story, take the mask off. Take the mask off and show us and wear those scars with pride, because I look at scars, it's like the heavyweight championship belt, right? You're the champion, you're the undisputed champion in your journey. And that's why my last chapter in my book is The Undisputed Champ, because you made it through and you were tough enough and bad enough, and just bring it. So I know we're touching on some emotional stuff here. Is there anything, let me do this. Marion, is there anybody that jumped on with some more comments?
Yeah, Colin Porter.
Okay.
Our purpose will always involve helping others in some way, shape, or form.
And Colin, 100%, thank you for jumping on. Thank you for taking the time. And let's go a little bit deeper on that. I believe that the definition of happiness is fulfillment.
Yes.
So what he's saying is you have to be fulfilled in order to feel fulfilled, in order to be happy. So I love that you said that, Colin. Anybody else, Marion?
Chris Ripka, my zen comes from being on my mic or in front of my camera, inspiring people to stop being average and start being awesome.
Man, knuckle that up, big man.
You, Chris.
Big C, thank you. And if anybody can relate to that comment, it's me, because this became my oxygen. This show is my oxygen. That's why we're going to take this thing nationwide on a tour bus. Monster Motivator Mania Tour coming to town near you. Anybody else, Marion?
Gloria Madonna says, don't accept that label. Good word.
That a girl, right? You don't have to accept that label. That's up to you whether or not you accept that label. And we talked about how the mind works. Conscious, subconscious, and the body. So your conscious mind can decide on and accept or reject. Once it accepts, your subconscious has to accept it, and you act that out through the body. So if you don't like that label, you don't accept that label, tell them to keep that label in their pocket. Anybody else, Marion? You're bringing the heat, girl.
Don't let the label you.
Absolutely. 100%. You rewrite that label.
Thank you.
And then Cody Chris is saying, I'm going through a hard time in my fifth tip, and my mom Stephanie are helping me get through my own of loss.
There you go.
Awesome.
There you go. And then, as you know, right, as you get better, now it's your obligation to help somebody else. Because what does that do? That gives you fulfillment. That creates happiness in your world. Life is so simple, just not always easy.
No, it's not. No one ever said, life is not a bowl of cherries, okay? Or a box of chocolates? Is that how it is?
And either one. But you know what? Or a bed of roses.
That's right. There's something I want to do, about self-growth and self-development.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me touching on this really quick.
No, that one.
You know what I do? One thing that's really helped me a lot, and Tiffany actually introduced me to it, is affirmations. I do affirmations every day. I have like 100 of them I do, and I change them up.
Yep.
I record them on my phone, and I've got my Zen music in the background, and I wake up to that, and I go to sleep with that.
How important is that to you?
When it's life or death.
And what does that make you feel like?
If I don't have it, I'm not existing.
Well, you just feel like you're in a funk.
Oh, completely.
Right? Without that conditioning, right?
Yes.
Without that,
Yes.
But let's break it down for him, right? Your conditioning as a little girl was so negative and toxic,
right?
But it was still conditioning, and it was still your story that you told yourself.
Yes.
Now all you're doing is you just changed the tape, right? You just changed that that story in your head. That's why it feels so good to her. That's why it feels so good to you.
It does, because I go, like on a couple of my affirmations, because it's like I'm talking into, I'm like, okay, I take care of my mountain property with the $10,000 I bring in every month. Thank you.
Right.
I don't bring in $10,000 a month, okay? But you know what? That's my goal. That's my dream, my fantasy. Hey, you never know.
But you're owning it. I am.
I deserve love, honor, and respect.
Yeah.
And I will, and I do love, honor, and respect myself.
And that's
owning it up.
That's your story.
It's enough to where any person, no matter how old, okay, deserves love. Everybody deserves love. It's like watering a flower. And you get to watch this beautiful flower grow and become and blossom into this amazing, fragrant, and beautiful whatever. Purple's my favorite color. Okay? Love purple. So I can only imagine if someone saw my aura, I'm hoping they're seeing purple all around. Because purple makes me happy. But it's just to condition. You have to feed your soul.
Yeah.
You have to feed your body. I choose, yes, I smoke cigarettes. That's probably the only bad thing I do. Okay? I mean, except for having a cold Corona after splitting a cord of wood on a hot day.
Well, you earned it.
Yes, I did.
So life says you earned it.
Yes, I did.
So, Marion, anybody else before we jump off?
Chris Ripkett says, Stephanie, we need to see that Monster Motivator Aurora girl.
Oh.
Sharing an amazing story.
She does it better than I do. Are you kidding me? She's a beast. She's a monster. Anybody else, Marion?
Cody Chris says, I feel fear is a shapeshifter.
Well, you know what? It's right. You know what? You're so right. You can use that as your propeller or your anchor, but that's up to you, and that's your decision, and who you surround yourself with.
Right.
So you're surrounding yourself with the right people, so it is going to become your propeller. Anybody else, Marion?
Shout out from Jody.
Jody, thank you so much. Another girl from Washington. Washington, right, Marion?
Yeah.
Yep.
She's on Gig Harbor.
That's right. That's right. Awesome lady. Very, very spiritual lady, and be a great contact for you guys to connect with. And as you guys know, when we jump off and we reshare this, Stephanie is going to jump on, reconnect with everyone, share those books that you talked about, and you're going to be able to reconnect with her because she goes back up to the mountain tomorrow. So tonight's the night she's going to be on there connecting with you guys. Anybody else, Mary?
Bertha Torres.
Yeah, love Bertha.
Shout out.
Thank you so much.
Let's say I wanted Jasmine Lynn.
Oh, Jazz, that's my girl. Another monster mode.
George Ellis.
Okay.
George Elias.
Yeah, George Elias. Yeah, that's my video guy. Big G, what's up, buddy?
And then Ralph Johnson.
Okay. Guys, thank you so much for jumping on. We very much appreciate it. Any other comments or questions?
No other comments or questions.
Okay. So is there anything that I didn't touch on that you want to touch on before we do jump off?
I just want to thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. I was very nervous, okay? And I faced my fear.
So I'm so glad you went there because there's so many people, right, that aren't doing what you're doing. I'm still chasing them. We're going to get you, and you know who you are. You're running. You can run, but you can't hide. So
that's what Tiffany told me. She goes, Mom, you have to do this.
Okay, so now that you did it,
yes.
How was it?
Awesome.
Okay. What did you like about it? What did you like about it? Share your experience because this is great.
You know, I can feel the energy and the non-conditional love and energy that you have. Okay. The non-judgmental. It was very non-threatening. Okay. Very non-threatening. Good. I mean, and your audience is amazing.
It was just a conversation.
Yes.
It's just a conversation to bring the value to the forefront. Mm-hmm. And I've had people even say they almost felt like it was a especially the ones that were
spiritual.
scared of therapy type feeling because they were so afraid.
Dave, you're
to
my
tell our
therapy
story.
now.
And that being said, I want to thank you for being so real, being so transparent, and being what Monster Motivator is all about. We are real, raw, and live.
Thank
That's
you.
what you're all about.
It's been an honor.
And you know what? I always say the greatest compliment I can get is when someone says you're so real, and that's all I can ask for.
I love your story. You're an amazing motivator.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Right back at you, girl.
Amazing.
So we're gonna end this like we always end it. Monster Motivator Roar, and for you people guys out there, women that don't know what that is, we're gonna show you in a second. But there's a reason behind that. I believe, Stephanie, that you can only be in one state of mind at a time.
Mhm.
So if you're in victim state, you can't be in gratitude state.
Mm-mm.
If you're in gratitude state, there's no room for victim state.
I don't believe in the word victim.
Okay? Right? But how many people
Absolutely.
live that life, right? They live as a victim. Either way, however you want to put it, whatever state you're in, there's no room for anything else.
That's right.
So, as we know, life makes the rules, right? And life asks the questions. And life says, Stephanie, if you could be in that unstoppable state the majority of your day, how great would that be?
Amazing.
Awesome,
That's awesome.
right? And then life always says, as this questions, and life is asking you right now, Stephanie, if you could live your life purring like a kitten or roaring like a lion, what do you want to do?
Roar like a lion.
That a girl. On 3, we're going to close this out like we always do, and this is going to be epic. On 3, 1, 2, 3. Ah!